Welcome back to TFI Global. Pakistan has bombed Afghanistan. Airstrikes ripped through Kabul and Paktika province on October 9th, killing dozens and targeting what Islamabad called the TTP terrorist bases. The timing? Too perfect to ignore. The very same day, Taliban Foreign Minister Amir Khan Muttaqi was in New Delhi, meeting Indian officials to rebuild ties with India. While in the West, US President Donald Trump is reclaiming the Bagram Air Base, America's old fortress in Afghanistan. Coincidence or coordination? What followed exposed a shadow war stretching from Washington to Islamabad, Beijing to Kabul, and all circles back to one critical location, the Bagram Air Base, the most valuable piece of land in the global game to contain China, India, and Russia. For Pakistan, the strikes were presented as an anti-terror operation. For the world, they looked like something much bigger. Islamabad's fighter jets, probably F-16, crossed Afghan airspace in what the analysts call the most direct attack on Kabul since 2021. And yet, there was no condemnation from Washington. None. Instead, insiders say American intelligence may have quietly shared satellite data to help Pakistan pinpoint the targets. This happened just days after the US released another $3 billion in military aid to Islamabad under Trump's renewed security framework. So the question is, if Pakistan recently joined China, Russia, and Iran in a declaration opposing any US return to Afghanistan, why does it suddenly act in a way that benefits Washington's strategy? As one South Asian diplomat put it, quote, Pakistan can't move a muscle without the US permission. Since returning to power in January 2025, Donald Trump has made one thing crystal clear, that he wants the Bagram Air Base back. Not for nostalgia, but for strategy. The Bagram, just 40 miles north of Kabul, is the perfect forward operating base within reach of China's Xinjiang region, Iran's borders, Central Asia, and even India's strategic routes. Trump has called Bagram the greatest geopolitical asset America has ever abandoned. He wants it as a surveillance hub, a drone launch platform, and a deterrent against China's Belt and the Road expansion. Critics warn it could reignite the Afghanistan's conflict. The Taliban has already rejected any US return, declaring Bagram is Afghan soil, no foreign boots again. But Trump's calculus is simple. Control Bagram and America keeps an eye on Beijing, Tehran, Moscow, and New Delhi from one mountain valley. The Taliban's warming ties with India have shaken Islamabad. During Muttaqi's 6-day visit to New Delhi, India offered to upgrade its technical mission in Kabul to a full-fledged embassy and expand humanitarian aid. For Pakistan's military establishment, Taliban-India friendship is an existential red flag. By bombing Afghanistan during the Taliban-India meetings, Pakistan sent a double message, one to Kabul, warning it to stay in line, and one to New Delhi, reminding it that Pakistan still holds regional muscle. But in reality, that muscle moves best when Washington gives the green light. Only a day before the strikes, Pakistan joined China, Russia, Iran, India, and Central Asian republics at the Moscow format talks, signing a declaration rejecting any foreign military base in Afghanistan. It sounded like unity against the United States. But under the surface, it's a shaky alliance. China opposes a US return because Bagram overlooks Xinjiang and the China-Pakistan economic border, the CPEC. Iran opposes it to prevent American eyes on its nuclear sites. India joined the declaration reluctantly, focusing on containing the Chinese expansion. Now, after Pakistan's airstrikes, even the Taliban, once close to Islamabad, has summoned Pakistan's envoy and threatened retaliation. The anti-US bloc is fracturing faster than it formed. Meanwhile, Washington's global chessboard is shifting. In Gaza, a 21-point US peace plan has ended major hostilities. In Ukraine, Trump is winding down military support, urging Kyiv to negotiate with Moscow. Those theaters are closing and the focus moving east. Trump's Pentagon has already redirected nearly $100 billion from Middle East and European operations towards the Indo-Pacific. Bases in Guam, Japan, the Philippines, and possibly Bagram, if they get it from the Taliban, will anchor this pivot. For Washington, it's the real America First strategy: contain China before it dominates Eurasia. Then came another bombshell, this one economic. On October 9, 2025, the same day Pakistan bombed Afghanistan, China restricted exports of 12 rare earth elements, including holmium, erbium used in EV batteries, missiles, and semiconductors. Beijing controls 90% of global rare earth processing, and its move threatens to cripple America's tech and defense industries. And where can Washington find new sources of these critical minerals? Right under Bagram's shadow. Afghanistan is estimated to hold $1 trillion in untapped mineral wealth, including lithium, copper, cobalt, and rare earths. Resecuring Bagram could give the US a foothold to challenge China's resource dominance. So, this isn't just a military tug of war, it's an economic survival race. Pakistan now finds itself between two masters, Washington and Beijing. China funds its infrastructure through the CPEC. The US funds its army through military aid. When Islamabad bombs Afghanistan, it's signaling loyalty to one while pretending allegiance to the other. But that balancing act can't last forever. If Trump pushes too hard to reoccupy Bagram, Pakistan risks backlash from both the Taliban and China, two neighbors it can't afford to anger. Islamabad's silence on US ambitions tells the story. It wants to stay useful to everyone and owned by none. Yet history shows Pakistan's foreign policy rarely escapes Washington's orbit. Bagram is no longer just an airbase. It's a symbol of power, surveillance, and control over the heart of Asia. For Trump, it's America's eyes on China. For China, it's a red line. For Pakistan, it's a dilemma, and for the Taliban, it's a test of sovereignty. With the Gaza war cooling, Ukraine fading, and Asia heating up, the world is watching the mountains of Afghanistan again. Because if Bagram rises once more under the US flag, the new Cold War won't begin in the Pacific, it'll begin in the Hindu Kush. Pakistan's bombs were not just explosions, they were a signal. The shadow war over Bagram has begun, and this time it's not about terror, it's about who controls the future of Eurasia. Thanks for watching.